Hello, Vanessa Webb, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Australia here. Today I am going to be playing with the Abstract Beauty suite. In particular, I have the Abstract Beauty 4x6 designer series paper, which is the perfect size for card making. And as always, it's a specialty paper because it's got the gold foil throughout the designs, but it's double-sided. So I'm going to show you a cool way to use that in a second. The other item that I have on hand is my Abstract Beauty ephemera pack, which you'll find on page 87 of the brand new mini catalogue. So they're the two things that I am focusing on. I've also grabbed my brilliant rainbow dies. I'm mixing these two suites together. So I've already got the dies out that I am using on my card. So I'm not using any of the big rainbows as such, but I have used some of the clouds which come in the kit. So these are really, really cute. For putting as the main element on your card or behind one of the elements that you're adding. I've got this arched, what I would call a window, but you can also use it as a word, something to put your greeting on, which is how I'm using it. I'm going to show you how to get a cool effect behind those little windows there. And I'm using also the loop-de-loop, which is what I like to call it. That's that long, thin die, which is great for borders and sort of creating segments in the background of your card. Or you could do it along the border of your card lengthways. It's actually the length of a card. I can also see this one being used on scrapbook pages with your photos and other elements that you're using on your scrapbook pages. So really, really cute little, I guess it's a whole heap of mini rainbows in that border die. Alrighty, so, so I've actually ended up using a lot of my elements from my Abstract Beauty ephemera pack. So what I've got left is what I'm actually using on my card. And to create the card, I've got a base of pumpkin pie, which is going to tie in with some of the colours in the designer series paper that I'm using. But I'm going to cut this down. So remember, it's 4x6, so it's not quite small enough to use as a background on a card, on a C6 size card, which we have in Australia here. So I'm just going to slice off a little section here. We've got soggy cardstock and soggy paper here in Australia at the moment because we've got a lot of rain. We have the El Nino, which is a lot of rain and a lot of wet weather that's been coming our way and will be coming our way. So my cardstock as a result has been super soggy. I know in some parts of the world that's really an unusual thing, but so we have to store our cardstock flat, and we also have to change our blades regularly in our Stampin' trimmer. So I've got a new blade in there. Right, so I've cut that down to size, and you'll see that it actually fits on my card front. I'm just going to cut that in half. Or approximately in half, because what I'm going to do is have half showing, half one side showing and half the other side. I've got a little slice that I'm going to take off my card front too, just to make sure that it's the right size, because I did have to trim that down a bit. All right, so see, here we go. We've got a piece of the paper which has been cut in half, so you can actually, if you put it either side showing on your project, you can actually see both sides. I actually might put that like that. You can decide which way around you'll have it, and for each piece of designer series paper, you'll have a very different look. So you can have, one bit at the top, one bit at the bottom, and then for your next card you can switch them around. So the other thing I've used is actually some of the subtle shimmer it's called Glimmer Paper, I think, Subtle Shimmer Glimmer Paper. And this one is actually like a diamond, sort of throws off every colour, whatever colour you put it with. It's a bit like Dazzling Diamonds. And I have created a little bit of a border here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a section of it, the section that's going to go across the card front. So I'm going to trim this and place that on there. So I like to sort of line up everything as I go before I stick it down. Now here is the little piece that I have cut out. I've got lots and lots of scraps of my basic white. So what I'm doing with my basic white is I'm using up all my scraps at the moment. We actually can't order at the moment. Hopefully it'll come back in stock soon when our shipping crisis is over. But at the moment I'm using scraps, and that's all I need for this card. And I have actually got one of the little flower embellishments from my ephemera pack. So I've got that out of, I've punched that out of the die cut pieces. So that's ready to go. And as I said, I used the cloud dies, and I'm going to use them on this card. Didn't add them to my other cards, but where I got that from is if you don't have any vellum on hand, you actually have some spare vellum from your ephemera pack, and you can use all these little scrap pieces. You don't need to waste them once you've punched out all the elements. Use the little scrap pieces for things like the clouds, which look really cool when they're punched out in vellum. So they're all ready to go there. Now, the other tip I wanted to share with you is you'll need your circle, your layering circles dies with this project. For this project, I've used one of the smaller circles, and that's actually the perfect size to go behind if you're going to cut a whole circle. What you'll do is you'll cut the circle and then you'll cut the circle in half, and that is the perfect size to go on the back of your little rainbow right there. So that's a little tip. One of our small circles is perfect for that job. And I'm just going to go and grab my Stampin' seal. Because you will need the Stampin' seal on the back of your little window here. So I'm just going to add that subtle glimmer paper at the back. Supple, sorry, it's called Supple Shimmer. I think that's because it goes with lots of different colours. Oh, and also it doesn't have the wax paper on the back. That's what it is. So you'll find that it's a little bit easier to cut in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I've just added a little bit of the Stampin' seal on the back, and that's going to be enough just to hold that in place there while I assemble my card. The other thing I'm going to do is grab one of my new stamp sets. This is the Photopolymer stamp set, the Celebration set. It's a level 2 set, and you can get it with any $180 purchase, and it's got 21 greetings in it. It's fabulous. The one that I use a lot is thanks. So I've grabbed my thanks, but you can see there's stamps for all occasions there, and they're really, really cute. And they actually adhere to the inside of the case because you've got the images on the inside label. So really easy to store and easy to find the stamp that you're looking for. So that's another freebie available right now in Australia with any $180 purchase, as I said. I'm just going to ink this up in Memento, and I might pop my thanks down the bottom towards the right hand side a little bit. So there's my thanks. Now with my ephemera pack flower, I'm going to just pop a couple of dimensionals on the back. These are the mini dimensionals, and they are perfect for smaller embellishments, and that's just going to go across there. It doesn't matter if it's kind of peeking out over the sides. Oops, sticking to my work surface. There we go. So don't worry if it's peeking out over the top, because that's going to go on the card eventually. Now for the back, what I'm going to do is apply my dimensionals carefully so that I hold my supple shimmer paper in place, and you'll see I've straddled over the top of the shimmer paper and the little tag, so that's going to hold it in place. And then I've got two little dimensionals that are going on here. So I'll expose these so they're all ready to go on once I have popped the rest of the card together. And I'm going to show you the other cards that I made as well. So the rest of the card can go together with Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to pop a little tiny bit at the back of this designer paper. Oops. Make sure that I don't stick to my work surface. I'm going to apply that just there. And this one goes down the bottom. No drying time. I love this. You just need to make sure it's sort of in the right spot before you press it down. And it's great for, the Stampin' Seal is great for adding little embellishments like your, like this supple shimmer glimmer paper. And that's just going to pick up all the colours. I love that one. It really is like Dazzling Diamond. It's got an opalescent sort of look about it as well. So that's sort of picking up some of the greens I can see. And that gold, doesn't that gold look gorgeous? So yeah, this guy is going to straddle over the top. But what I'm going to do is apply some of my clouds. And I'm just going to use a tiny little bit of the Stampin' Seal on the back of these clouds. And then I'm going to pop this on and I'm going to tuck the clouds behind. So we've got a few little spots where we could put them. There we go. So they just kind of add a little bit of extra dimension to the card. You can sort of see them in the background there. And it's kind of carrying on the rainbow theme, carrying on, the rainbows and sunshine theme. And here are my other cards. Let me just bring them in. I'm going to have a list of all the products that I've used underneath my video. So look down the bottom once I've uploaded it and you'll be able to view them in my store. But here's another little one, just using some of the different papers that come in this Abstract Beauty Specialty Designer Series paperback. There it is with a blue flower, and we've got one with a pink flower on there. And you can see I've switched out the glimmer paper, the supple shimmer paper. I've switched them out there so that I'm using the opposite one each time. And that kind of adds a little bit more interest as well. I love these paint splodges, these gold paint splodges. This also has some of those iridescent rhinestones, these new iridescent rhinestone self-adhesive rhinestones that are in the mini catalogue. If you have a look for them in the back there, you will see those. And yeah, I even love this stripe. It's a little bit more simple, but it just looks gorgeous on this card. And I love how all of those colours work together. So thank you so much for watching. As I said, all the ingredients will be down the bottom. Keep a lookout in my store as well, because we will be adding new celebration items as they come into stock. As of today, there is the new Rainbow Designer Series paper, the celebration item that we've all been waiting for. So stay tuned for that. I will be showing you some projects that I am going to be creating with that as well. But yeah, keep an eye out for all the new products as they come in. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.